idea of let's call it worship? How do these ideas of God, perceptions around heaven and hell differ, if you want to comment, with traditional African beliefs?
There is a great difference, because the traditional belief, they believe that when a person dies, he rests. They believe that the dead people are resting.
Okay.
And still they believe that the dead people are gods to them.
Okay.
And they believe they cannot go straight to God, but they must via through the dead people.
So the living approach God through the ancestors.
Yes, that's right.
As Christians, we believe God, He is the creator of heaven and earth. He's the one who is worthy of worship. We've got to worship God as the creator. In the African religious perspective, like if you happen to visit, a king or a queen, they say in African custom, you don't like go and demand to see the king. There must be somebody who must take you to the king.
Okay.
So that is where this belief comes from. When we talk of God, God is superior. God is above everything. So the African religion states that you cannot, as a human being, approach God. You need somebody. Now, that's when they say they need their ancestors.
Okay, as the mediator.
As the mediator.
Now, so if I can interrupt you, when we use this term God, in the Christian terms, is it Jesus or the Father of Jesus? And in the African beliefs, who is that God?
In the Christian belief, God is the Trinity.
Okay.
We talk of God, that is the Trinity. Now, in the African religion, that is your ancestor.
But we've just said the ancestors are the mediums.
Exactly. But this is the problem, because they're saying they are their gods.
Okay.
And their gods are the ones who take them through the God.
Okay, all right. And in this concept, who is the God?
So the God, as Christians we say, that is the creator of heaven and earth.
Okay.
To them, it's like an unknown God.
If we speak from the Assemblies of God ministry in Venda's point of view, what do you believe, and what do you teach your congregation when it comes to a question of what happens to them when they die, and what happens to you when you die? Can you elaborate on this process?
Yeah, my teaching about that, we strongly believe that when a person dies having Christ, he goes to paradise. And then when somebody dies without Christ, he goes straight to hell. That's our
the teaching.
Yes.
Now, when we take the term paradise, can you explain that a little bit, please?
We strongly believe in Luke chapter 16, where it says Lazarus was found in the bosom of Abraham. And we believe those who have died in Christ are resting together with Abraham.
Okay, so we've identified that if someone dies, they either go to heaven or they go to hell. Hell, as you describe, awaiting trial.
That's right.
Waiting for judgment day.
That's right.
Heaven, let's equate that to paradise. It's a place where you live close to God.
That's right.
Now, let's take it one step deeper, and let's see, okay, a person biologically dies.
Yeah.
The flesh dies. Heart stops beating.
That's right.
What happens? How does this person get to heaven or to hell?
Okay. Now, when a person dies, when we talk of a physical death, this is when the spirit or the soul leaves the body. Now, that is a physical death. Now, what happens? Remember, when we talk of the creation, God created, the person, this man called Adam. He created him from the dust of the earth. Adam was just a statue until God breathed the spirit inside of Adam. That's when there was life. This statue, had a life. This is what we call a human being. Now, when a person dies, there is this separation of part of the dust and the spirit. The spirit belongs to God.
So the dust is the body.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Now, if this person happens to be a Christian, a righteous man, a true believer in God, the spirit will go back to God. But if this person didn't believe in God, the spirit will go to hell. You wait for the judgment day.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Victor, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, but in short, he has explained much, but maybe to add to that is that the real person leaves the body.
The real person,
The
in
real
other
person.
words, the essence then of the being is
That's right.
the spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a difference between spirit and soul for the purposes of this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though from our language we don't have that. We only use a person right through. We don't have this many many words like in English.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, coming to that, when you take the word soul and spirit, in our indigenous languages, you find that soul is the heart, and the heart is physical, and the spirit is the spirit.
Okay.
So you don't get much of,
Okay,
like Victor says. Yes.
Now tell me, when we once again look at the African traditional perspective, is there something special surrounding this concept where you have a biological death and there's the separation of the spirit and the body? Is there a different process at play there?
According to what we usually hear, or the common thing that we usually speak, you will hear people, when a person has passed away, even before he can go to the mortuary, they will be passing a message that so and so has left us. Which means, I believe, there is that strong belief that they know that the real person is the spirit, is a spiritual man.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe there's not that much difference.
Now, when we say that the spirit goes back to God, if we talk about someone who led a good life, what are we talking about? Are we talking about another dimension that it enters into, or does this existence become invisible? Where does this soul go when we say it goes to God? Or sorry, where does the spirit go?
To my belief, it goes to paradise.
And where? So I'm trying to say, where is paradise? Is it metaphorical? Is it what?
Yeah, what a question. But usually when you speak about